What's up, YouTube gamers? Young Soul dropping another video, and it's been a while, but I'm gonna do my E3 Microsoft Xbox One predictions for 2016. I believe either Wednesday or Thursday I'll be doing my PS4 predictions, but let's start with the Xbox One predictions. As far as, let me do software first. As far as software, I think what we're gonna get is a Crackdown beta announcement, either starting right at E3 or like the following week or so for the beta. And I think at E3 we'll see some actual single player Crackdown 3. And we'll get, if the actual single player is coming this year, which I don't believe it will, but if it does, we'll get some type of release schedule, window. But I'm not sure that the single player will come for Crackdown 3. Next up is ReCore and Scalebound, and I'm kind of putting those two games together because I have my doubts that those two games come out in 2016, and I'm not sure if they're going to be $60 at launch retail games for different reasons. Number one, ReCore, I'm not sure that the development is going to be what is, quote unquote, triple A development. We'll see when the gameplay, which should come this E3, that's part of my prediction, we'll see actual ReCore gameplay, and then I'll be able to see, is it look like it's a $60 at launch retail type of game, or is it going to be something smaller, like a $30 or $40 game, or is it going to be like a $15 game? I doubt it's going to be $15 because you don't do a big CG thing for $15, but is it going to be $30 or $40 or full 60? I'm hoping it's a full 60 because that's one of the reasons right now that I have an Xbox One. Anyway, but I have to hold my reservations on that. And Sea of Thieves, I'm not sure is going to be a $60 at launch retail game because it might be a free-to-play. And we should see more of that as well at this E3. So gameplay, and I don't just mean gameplay. I mean on-stage live gameplay. And the reason why I say on-stage live gameplay, these two games, ReCore and Sea of Thieves. I'm sorry, I might have said Scalebound at some point, but I don't mean Scalebound at any point. I mean Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves and ReCore are supposedly releasing this year and haven't had any type of announcement of delay. So if it's still going to be this year, both of those games, again, if they are $60 launch retail games, not sure they will be, but if they are, they have to release by the end of September. Why do I say that? Well, because all of October and all of November will have two games in each month that'll be big on Xbox. That is, Gears comes out sometime in the first 2 weeks of October. Then you have Battlefield 1 that will come out the end of October. Then you have COD at the beginning of November, and then you got Titanfall the middle or third week of November. There's no way you can release a $60 at launch retail game of ReCore or Scalebound during that time and not expect the game to not be noticed. It'll kind of be like what happened with Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves. It'll kind of be like what happened to Sunset Overdrive. I don't particularly think the game was all that great, Sunset Overdrive, but regardless of what I thought of it or what you think of it, it definitely got overshadowed by bigger games when it came out in late October 2014. So I don't think they're going to make that mistake again with ReCore or Sea of Thieves if those are indeed AAA $60 at launch games. Now, again, if Sea of Thieves is like a free-to-play, then yeah, maybe they drop it during that time because it's a free-to-play, so, you can pick up and play it whenever you want. But they're not going to release it if it's a $60 at launch retail type of game. Okay, they're not going to release it in October, November. Same thing with ReCore. If it's like a $30 or $40 game, maybe they drop it, maybe they don't. But if it's a $60 at launch retail game, there's no way they're dropping it in October or November. So because they have to drop it by the end of September, and at least with ReCore, this will be the first time we see any gameplay, they have to be almost done with the game. Think about it. Again, if it's dropping this year, it's got to drop by September. If it's going to drop by September, and we're talking mid-June, That means we're left with what, 2.5 months? June to mid-July, mid-July to mid-August. Mid-August. Oh, 3 months. I'm sorry. 3.5 months. That's not much time to show us like CGI trailers anymore or cut scenes. You have to show us the whole shebang here. You got to give us the meat, the potatoes, the vegetables, and the dessert. You got to give us everything. You know what I mean? You got to show us actual on-stage live gameplay, because you need to be close to being finished. Okay, anyway, so that's Sea of Thieves and ReCore. I think we should see live on-stage gameplay for those two games. Okay. Moving on, we'll see Forza Horizon 3, or whatever iteration of Forza they're going to put out. Usually it's Forza Horizon 3, then Forza Motorsport, then Forza Horizon 3. Or Forza Horizon, then Motorsport, then Horizon. I don't think they're going to change that up, so they're going to probably put Horizon out this year. And they'll show actual gameplay, and it'll be available in September. Okay, next up, oh, and by the way, the reason why that you can still launch ReCore and or Sea of Thieves during September is because Forza Horizon, although, you know, a pretty big game, is still not going to cannibalize ReCore. They're kind of different games or whatever. And I know you can say the same thing about Gears and Battlefield, but those get crazy sales right away. You know, Forza Horizon gets decent sales. It won't get what those shooters will in October and November. Anyway, let's move. Let's keep moving. Okay, so we got Forza Horizon 3. Obviously, I just talked about Gears of War. Gears is going to have actual single player playthrough on stage at this E3, and because they already had the beta, and that's pretty much it, because we already know the date. It's October 12th or whatever it is, first 2 weeks of October. And then we'll get Halo Wars 2. Gameplay, it's an RTS, whoop-de-whoop. Everybody knows what it pretty much is going to do. Okay, so now now with the software, I'm going to go ahead and give you a guess as to what I believe new IPs, right? So new IP, I don't know what they're gonna announce. I'll be honest with you. It's like the big whatever as far as that goes. What I will do though is let me go ahead and say a prayer. I'm gonna give a prayer for what I want for as far as IPs. So bow your heads. Close your eyes and bow your heads. Please, God, Jesus, baby Jesus, Yahweh, Jehovah, Buddha, Allah, whatever Mormon God is. I think that's just God, but whatever, Mormon God. Whatever name you respond to, please, oh please, don't let any new IPs that Xbox announce, please don't let them be another shooter or another racer. I pray to you. I pray to you. Please don't make any of their new IP announcements, or either new IP or you know, surprise announcements of, you know, some of the bigger budget games. Please don't make them be a shooter or a racer. I don't mind it having gunplay in it. I get it to a certain extent, but let's not do the oversaturation of the shooters where the primary thing you do is shoot. No exploration, no nothing, just shoot. Go to the next button, shoot. Or racing. They got racing. Every year they have a racer, obviously, like I said. Horizon versus Motorsport, but they still have one every year. Let's not do those. Any new announcements, make them, for my preference, action adventure RPG, but just something other than shooting and racing. In your son we pray, or whatever the ending is for whatever the religion is, amen / whatever. Okay. So that's my prayer. Okay, now just real quick with the hardware, let me tell you something. This is just going to be real quick. They're going to, let me put it this way. If this rumored Xbox Beast Fire Scorpio, whatever this thing is supposed to be, if it's not coming out in 2016, they're not going to announce it. Okay, just real quick, they're not going to announce it because they're not going to want to cannibalize all their other sales if this thing isn't coming out till next year, because you're looking at a holiday sales, hardware sales that will be dismal at best. If you announce stronger hardware that doesn't come till 2017, you can forget the rest of this. You can forget the sales of any of your hardware this year. So unless it's coming out this year, I don't think they announce it. That's just my rumor. So I think the hardware announcement will be the Slim that comes out this year, and it'll be $100 more than the regular Xbox One. So the regular Xbox One just got a price cut to $299. That's $300. So the Slim's going to be $400. Now you can see why you wouldn't announce the Scorpio Beastfire thing at the same time, because who the hell in their right mind would after such an announcement go out and buy a Slim? After the announcement of this Scorpio Beastfire that's supposed to be 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, 100 times more powerful than the Xbox One, I don't know who to believe. That's why I say that. Why would you go out and buy the Slim for $400? Well, you can go buy a used Xbox One, since they're now down to $300 for a new one. The used ones be $150, $200 tops. You go buy that sucker right now, and then next year you go and get the Beastfire Scorpio 700 teraflop transformer whatever thing. Okay, so they're not going to announce it, because then who the heck would buy these other ones? Okay, anyway, that's enough. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll holla back. Peace.